Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to make the pop-up cube card. Isn't it cute? So this is how it works. So it sits up like this, which you're not going to be able to see that. So let me kind of position it like this. So when it opens up, you can see there's a little secret message in there. And then it folds flat. Now this size will not fit into our standard size envelope. So I would make an envelope for this card to be about 6 by 6 in size. I think that would be really good. Plus it's kind of thick with the multiple layers of the cardstock and the Whisper White cardstock too. So there's the one with the Pampered Pets. Isn't it cute? And then here's the one with the Zany Zebras. I love it. And we're going to make the one with the Way to Goat stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is the stamp set we're going to use. And I've already went ahead and pre-stamped them and colored them and got them all cut out and layered together just to save some time. So today is just pretty much assembling the card to show you how to do that, all right? So let me grab my Whisper White 12 by 12 piece. We're gonna cut and score that together. Okay, so this is the Whisper White 12 by 12 and we also sell it in the Very Vanilla. So if you want Very Vanilla, there's 12 by 12 in that too. I'm gonna cut this down to 11 and a half. So I'm just gonna go over here and use this right hand side cutting arm here. And I'm going to line this up at a 1/2 inch. So then it will be cut down to 12 by 11 and a half. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and score this with the 11 and a half inch side across the top. We're going to score this at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and then 11. Okay, so now we're going to turn this. I'm going to cut, let me close up my arm here. We're going to cut at 2 3/4. I'm going to cut 2 of those. Another one at 2 3/4. And then the last piece we're going to cut is at 5 1/2. Okay, so those are the 3 pieces that we're going to use today to make our card. Okay, so let me go ahead and move the trimmer. Okay, so then also we're going to need 12 pieces of solid color cardstock, and I'm using the Smoky Slate, and all 12 pieces are cut at 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And then you're going to need 6 pieces of the Whisper White cut at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then you're also going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White. This is going to be for the inside piece right here. You can't see it with the greeting right here, but it's underneath that section right there. So we're going to kind of make like a hinge. So you're going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White, and depending on how wide your greeting is going to be, you want to make it smaller than that. All right, so you want them at least to be 2 inches long. So you're going to have 2 pieces of Whisper White, at least 2 inches long. Okay. All right, so I went ahead, like I said, I cut and I stamped and I adhered all the pieces together. So let me show you those. I think I used almost all the stamps in the stamp set. So I used Way to Goat, Happy Birthday You Old Goat, I Got You a Cake but I Ate It, and then here's my inside greeting. So you're the goat, greatest of all time. And then I also used the 3 goats, which worked out perfectly for this card. So did the zebra. So this is the way it's going to lay out. See how that is with the 3 zebras, and then I have like another greeting up here. So it's so cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our base of our card together. I'm going to use the tear and tape today. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold our score line. So let me go ahead and do that. And then on this 11-inch score line, right? So we scored at 11. So there's a 1/2 inch score line on all 3 pieces. We're going to go ahead and add the tear and tape to those. All right. So let me go ahead and do that to these 3 pieces. All right, now we're going to take our tear and tape backing off, and then we're going to attach it to the opposite end to make our little cube. All right, so it should look like this when you're done. And we're going to do that to all three pieces. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so here's all our 3 cubes. All right, now we're going to grab some liquid glue. We're going to put our card actually together. So, okay, so I have my liquid glue. Now, remember, this is the front of the card because this is where my seam is. So when my card is sitting up, I don't want that seam to show in the back. Okay, so this is the back side of the card. So I'm just going to lay this flat with that seam part right there. Then I'm going to take my other 2 cubes and I'm going to find there's my end right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that towards the front here. So my adhesive part with the tear and tape is in the front. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back here with the liquid glue. And I find that the liquid glue works nice is because it's, you know, you can maneuver this layer onto this base here. So I'm going to add this piece, which is the 2 3/4 inch wide, and it should be the center part of this 5 1/2 inch piece, right? So you're going to center that right on that layer here, that bottom square with the adhesive. Okay, so we're just going to hold that for a couple seconds. Okay, then we're going to do the exact same thing on this one. But remember, we're going to look for our seam, which is right there. So I want that to be in the front. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back. And this one should line up right next to it perfectly. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's your whole card put together. It's so simple, but it's so cute. Definitely a 3D project that's a wow, for sure. All right, so then this is how the card opens up. So this is the way it looks when it's folded shut to mail. And then when it opens up, your cubes fold forward, right? Just like that. Let me push them down here, just like this. So this is the way it looks when it sits up, just like that. Okay? All right, now we're going to go ahead and lay it flat. Instead of the position of mailing it, we're going to open up the cubes down here. We're going to lay it flat this way. And then we're going to add our squares to these 6 squares here. Okay, so we're going to grab my ones that I decorated already. So I'm going to put my first one, Happy Birthday You Old Goat, right up here. And then my 3 goats would go one here, and then one here, and here. And then the other 2 greetings would go right there. Okay, so there's the card. Now we're going to go ahead and put our 2 little hinges for our greeting on the inside of our card. So when it sits up in the center right here is where this is going to go. Okay, so we're going to grab our 2 little pieces. Remember, we cut the 2 at least 2 inches long, and you want them to be a little bit smaller than your greeting. So this is my greeting here. So what I did is I just stamped it and then I layered it onto the smoky slate. So my whisper white hinge is a little bit smaller. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to fold them in half. I'm going to do this to both of them. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some tear and tape just on one end. And then I'm going to put them in the inside of my card with liquid glue, because once again, that's very forgiving. So, but before we put them in with the liquid glue, I'm going to remove that tear and tape backing so that's ready to go when I want to put my greeting on the inside of the card onto these little hinges. So I'll get them ready. Okay, so now we're going to take our hinge and we're going to put some liquid glue on the opposite side. So remember, we have our tear and tape over here. Now we're going to put our liquid glue on this side. Okay, And then we're going to put this on the inside of the card. And you want your folded edge right here on your card seam, right here on the inside. Now this probably will be the most difficult part of the whole card, seriously. Just trying to get your fingers in that. So you're going to line that fold of your hinge right up to that fold of the card. And I'm just holding it there just for a second so that liquid glue gets held onto there. And then once again with the liquid glue, it's very easy to maneuver it around. And push it down a little bit. Okay, so then you should have your tear and tape side sticking up, because this is what our "You're the Goat" greeting is going to stick to. Okay, now we're going to put the other side on to the other side. Same thing, keeping the tear and tape side up. I'm going to put some liquid glue on this end. And then this time we're going to go in from the other side. And once again, we're going to keep the folded edge on that folded edge of the card. And once again, I'm just holding it there just so that liquid glue grabs to that base. And then I can go in and press it down with my fingers. And you want them lined up together. That looks pretty good. Okay, so then since we already have our tear and tape on there, all we have to do is take our greeting and just set that right onto that hinge. I want to make sure it's straight. Just like that. Yep, that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to go ahead. Now, can you see that? I'm just going to go ahead and lay this flat so I can press it down, because that's really hard to kind of press when you're trying to hold the card as well. So as long as you get it somewhat straight, then you can adjust it. Since you put that hinge on with liquid glue, you can adjust it on the bottom base of the hinge. Isn't that cute? I love it. You're the goat, greatest of all time. And so it's just a really sweet little birthday card. I love it. All right, so now one more thing we want to do is, since we cut out the 12 smoky slate squares, remember that? So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 right here. So when the card is sitting up, it's, you know, it has a smoky slate on the back of there. And then to kind of camouflage the hinge, we're going to put 2 in the inside right there. Well, 1 on this side and then 1 on the other side. And then also 1 on the bottom. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so you'll see when you make this card, the liquid glue will be your best friend, especially when you're adding the stuff on the inside sections of this card. But isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh. I didn't add the basic black to my zany zebras, but I think I will be adding the black. But that one's so cute too. And then of course the Pampered Pets with the designer paper that coordinates with the real red. I love it. So adorable. So I hope you give this card a try. It's so much fun to make, and it's even more fun to give. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And then I'll also have all the items listed down below. And then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later. Bye.